Most people leave the default settings on and miss out on the best quality their phones can deliver. We're going under the hood of the Blackmagic Camera App, exploring advanced settings like frame rate control, shutter angle, log color space, timecode modes, and flicker protection. If you want full creative control, this is where it happens. The record setting panel controls your codec, resolution, color space, timecode, and more, so you get exactly the image quality and workflow you need. The first section is codecs. This is where you choose the balance between image quality and file size. The first one is Apple ProRes 422 HQ. It gives you the highest image quality for broadcast level delivery. Then there's ProRes 422. It's still excellent, just slightly smaller in file size and great for most professional work. Then there's ProRes LT. It has an even smaller file size, but still looks good. Then we have ProRes Proxy. It's designed for previews or offline editing. Super small file sizes, but don't expect final quality visuals. And finally, we have H.265 and H.264. If you're planning on serious color grading, green screens, or professional delivery, these aren't ideal. ProRes formats will give you way more image data and flexibility in post. Next is resolution. 4K should be your go-to if you've got the storage for it. It gives you a ton of flexibility in post, so you can crop, reframe, or even punch in without losing quality. And if you end up needing 1080p later, it's no problem. You can downscale and still get super clean results. So unless you're really tight on space, 4K is the smart move. Your other options are 1080p and 720p. Next up is color space. It gives you the selection of Rec 709, Rec 2020, or Apple Log. Now, if you're shooting in ProRes, seriously consider using Apple Log. It gives you a flat image with way more dynamic range, which means better highlights, more details and shadows, and a ton of flexibility in post. Next up is timecode mode. The first selection is record run. So the timecode only rolls when recording, which is perfect for syncing external audio. Next is time of day. It matches your phone's clock, useful for documentary work, behind the scenes, or context-based shooting. Next up is time-lapse mode. This lets you define the settings to capture long events in a short cinematic sequence. Think sunsets, traffic, or cloud movement. Once you toggle it on, you're able to capture one frame every frame, second, or minute. Next up is drop frame handling, and this is an important one. The first selection is alert mode. Your footage will keep rolling, but flashes a warning. The second one is stop mode. It halts your recording to prevent corrupted files. I would highly suggest using the stop mode when quality and reliability are non-negotiable. Now that your record settings are locked in, let's dial in how the camera behaves. This isn't about filters or flare, it's about control. First up is vertical video mode. Shooting for TikTok, stories, or reels, turn this on and your footage is locked to portrait orientation. No rotating or cropping in post. Next up is trigger record indicator. This lets you know recording has started, and the options are as follows: silent, beep, and then beep and flash. A pro tip would be to use beep and flash if you're using a gimbal, cage, or external monitor. Next is the use volume or camera control button to trigger record. This setting lets you start and stop recording using your iPhone's physical volume button or the action button. The next section is lock white balance on record. This prevents your white balance from drifting mid-shot. A pro tip would be to lock it, as consistency is key. Next is swipe right to dim screen. This allows you to swipe right during recording to dim your display without affecting the footage. It saves battery, reduces screen glare, and helps you stay focused on your subject. Next is shutter measurement mode. It allows you to choose how the shutter speed is displayed. Speed mode shows it as a traditional shutter speed like 1/48 or 1/60. And angle mode displays it in degrees like 180 degrees or 90 degrees. The bottom line is speed mode is more intuitive for most people, but if you're coming from a cinema background, you may prefer angle mode. Next is flicker-free shutter. Avoid flickering under artificial lights by choosing your regional frequency. 60 Hz is the first selection and it's for North America. 50 Hz is for Europe, Asia, and Australia. Seeing banding or flickering, check this setting first. Next is lens correction. This will minimize distortion, especially with ultra-wide or front-facing cameras. It basically straightens lines and removes that fisheye look, so your shots appear more natural and clean. For most shooting situations, it's a good idea to leave lens correction on, unless you're going for a stylized warp look on purpose. The next selection is Anamorphic De-squeeze. Anamorphic lenses squeeze your image horizontally to capture a wider field of view. So when you look at the footage on your screen, it looks stretched and weird. That's where De-squeeze comes in. It adjusts the preview so you can see the correct aspect ratio, like 1.33x or 1.55x. Just to be clear, this doesn't change the actual recording. It's just for monitoring. So your footage still comes in squeezed, and you'll need to de-squeeze it later in post. The next selection is the flip image for SLR lenses. Basically, if you're using a special lens adapter like a B-script DOF, which is a depth of field adapter, to attach big traditional camera lenses to your iPhone, those setups often flip the image upside down. So this setting flips the image right side up on your screen, so you can actually frame your shot and focus properly while filming. And just to let you know, this doesn't affect your recording. Your footage still saves exactly as it should. It just makes the live preview usable when you're shooting with those kinds of lenses. Next is lock current orientation. Have you ever had your phone randomly flip between portrait and landscape when you're trying to film? Well, this stops that. When you turn this on, the app locks the screen orientation exactly as it is at that moment. So if you're filming in landscape, it stays in landscape, no matter how you tilt the phone. This is great for when you've got your phone on a gimbal, tripod, or rig and don't want the screen flipping on you mid-shoot. Next is the mirror front-facing camera. When you're using the selfie cam, with the setting on, the preview looks like what you're used to seeing when you see yourself in the mirror. With it off, you see the image as the camera really captures it, which means left and right are flipped. Something that's important to note is this only affects the preview. The recorded video is never mirrored. This setting just helps you frame yourself if you're vlogging or filming with the front camera. If you're constantly switching between different shooting setups, maybe cinematic interviews one day and vertical B-roll or social content the next, presets are your secret weapon. The preset panel lets you save, load, import, and share entire camera configurations with just one tap. So let's break it down. Saving your setup. Once you've dialed in your resolution, codec, frame rate, just hit the save preset and give it a clear name like 4K ProRes interviews. And that's it. Now you can instantly recall your full setup anytime without second guessing your settings. If you need to export your presets, just tap the export preset button, select your preset, and then save it to your iCloud drive. To import your preset, just tap the import preset button, select your preset where you saved it on your iCloud drive. And that's it. Now you can change between different shooting setups depending on what presets you need. And finally, at the very bottom of the settings page is the Reset Settings tab. Tap this if you want to wipe everything and return the app to its default state. That means all your saved presets, custom LUTs, media preferences, display settings, everything goes back to factory defaults. Just make sure you really want to start fresh because there's no undo button. That's it for this part of the Blackmagic Camera App series. Now that you have unlocked all the pro settings, up next we'll dive into remote control plus stabilization. You won't want to miss it. Be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one, guys.